Listamiðstöð Nes á Skagaströnd var stofnuð í mars 2008 en þar boðið upp á vinnuaðstöðu fyrir listamenn allstaðar að úr heiminum ásamt íbúðahúsnæði. Nes sem staðsett í gömlu fiskvinnsluhúsi ein af stærstu listamiðstöðum landsins og tekur nú á móti 90 til 120 listamönnum á ári.
We call ourselves a multidisciplinary residency, so we can cater for all art forms, painting, video and sound art, dance, choreography. We have an external space which we call a Biopole dance studio because it's within the Biopole, the marine biotechnology company here. They have a space that we rent and dancers or choreographers or sound artists can be there and they can be alone there. But in this space it's mostly visual. We have installation artists, what else? Printmaking, we've had ceramic artists, crafts like knitting and embroidery.
Textile artists, yeah.
Yeah, we have writers as well and they work at what we call the research library, which is a part of the Biopole building, and that's in collaboration with the University of Akureyri as well. So they have their own private space to work quietly too.
Whatever you can think of, we probably have had them.
Yeah.
And the application process, do the artists choose you or do you choose them?
Well, it's a little bit of both. Yeah. I mean, they have to apply to us first, so obviously they're choosing us in one way. And then we have to look at their resume. Not one thing is more important than another because we also like to have a mix of a genre of practices. So we don't want to end up with all painters
at the same time.
You know, we find that a mix of practices is really great
and
for
ages
for networking.
Once these different artists come here together, do they manage to feed off each other at all?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's a reason a lot of artists come to residencies to do that, besides to work on their own projects, but also to network with other artists.
And because we have, as you can see, an open plan studio, then it creates more cross-collaborative friendships and working relationships, as well as people working by themselves. So it's a strange balance that the artists have to kind of find when they're here, how to be in the space together but also concentrate on their own work. And that's quite unique. A lot of people make a plan and then once they arrive it's like, oh okay, wow, it's like this. Now I want to do this, you know, especially being here in Skagaströnd and in Iceland, the landscape and
so the
seasonal changes.
The artists need to be flexible when they come too. And so often if I get an application where an artist is really locked into one particular idea, I'm thinking, oh, I'm not sure if that's going to work, then I'll sort of, try and make sure that they're going to be flexible, that, if things don't go quite to plan, that they've got other things that they can work on as well.
So the nature here and the landscape is very influential, would you say?
Definitely, and people take their own day trips or weekly trips around the country or to the city as well. Also they might be connecting with other artists or businesses or companies or industries like science or anything like that. And so for them to leave the studio is a big part of their relationship to the residency too.
Það Kerrin og Vicky sem nú sjá rekstur listamiðstöðarinnar komu fyrst til Íslands af ólíkum ástæðum. Kerrin sem með bakgrunn í danslistum kom hingað upphaflega sem listamaður árið 2014 og hafði þá aðstöðu í Nesi.
It was spring season, so I experienced snow, which I hadn't really experienced before. And I had never been this far away from New Zealand, so it's down under to the top. And I really enjoyed having the time and space. That's what I enjoyed when I was here as an artist, was to be very, very far away from everything I knew creatively and also my living environment, which was a city. And when I was searching for residencies and I saw the photos of Skagaströnd through the Nes website, I just went, time and space, and I can breathe, and I don't have to rush across the road because a car is coming. They always stop for you here. So there's lots of small mundane things that change when you come here as a resident.
But Vicky, your story is a little bit different from hers.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about why you ended up here.
I came here in 2009 for my son's wedding. He got married in Söderkröka to an Icelandic girl who was actually born in Australia, and they both live in Australia now. But when I came, I was only here for a week, and I just fell in love with the place, and probably midlife crisis, something like that. I went back to Australia to a job I was not enjoying. It was very stressful, and I just thought, I don't want to be here. I want to be back there. So I set about putting it in motion, and fortunately, I sort of feel like sometimes when you're on the right track, things just happen, and so it actually happened quite easily, and it's difficult for an Australian to stay here, but it did just all fall into place, and I just love it here. I go home to Australia once a year because I have 3 children in Australia and grandchildren, and so I miss them, but I still love it here.
I wanted to ask you, just because I see a little boy running around here, do you welcome children here?
Yes, we do. We have had lots of children. We had twins just recently. Yeah. I don't like to turn people away just because they've got family,
So that must help as well with the homesickness. You've got loads of people here. It must create some sort of family environment.
Yeah, we like it to be a family environment. And I think too that's why we also select people of all age groups as well.
What about the people of Skagaströnd? How do they welcome the artists that come here?
I think they're very welcoming. Since 2008, they've probably been used to foreigners coming here and being here, for a couple of months, and a lot of the artists really want to connect with different facets of the community here. So that happens a lot. And like any place, there's always people that support art, no matter how small or large the environment or city or town is. So Skagaströnd definitely has local people that are always supporting theirs and support art and art practice, and come to Open Studio or Opeth Hus, which we have at the end of a month, or talk to the artists. And people who don't really have art in their life, they might connect with artists in another way, like a fishing trip, or getting the car, or having a beer at Bordigan, or going for a walk, or riding horses. So there's lots of relationships that occur on a day-to-day level, as well as a working kind of collaborative level. Yeah.
But why Skagaströnd? What do you think is so appealing for people? Why do so many artists want to work here?
I think it's the remoteness as well, being in the north of Iceland. It's a remote town, it's a small town too. I think if you go, for some artists, if they pick a residency that's in a city, it can be very distracting. There's always things to do when you're not in the mood for doing something else. You can just go off and have a coffee, or go for a walk, go shopping, whatever. Here, pretty much, there's not any of that.
Go to Oles.
So
you have to kind of keep to your work.
And I think that's why they come here, because they want to be focused, and they sort of want to be contained in that situation too, so they don't have too many distractions. And also, they come to a residency, they get to meet people from all around the world as well. We would love to have more Icelandic artists apply, but for Icelandic artists, Skagaströnd is not the be-all and end-all of everything where they want to be. But we would love to get more applications because they get to mix with 12 or so other artists from all around the world.